Hi everyone, Dr. Vicky here, speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center. It's time for Tarot Scopes again. We're going to be doing the Tarot Scopes for the sign of Pisces. That's Pisces Sun, Pisces Moon, Pisces Rising for the month of February 2025. Before we get started, I'd like to welcome my new subscribers. Welcome to this wonderful community of like-minded souls. To my tried and true, who've been sticking it out with me for years. I always appreciate you. It's been quite the journey and will continue, I imagine, to be quite the journey. For my patrons on Patreon, thank you so much for your support. I really always appreciate your support. And for my new members on my channel, welcome. Welcome to the channel and the membership. I think we're going to have a good time as we navigate these very interesting, interesting waters we find ourselves in. All right, so we're going to look at Pisces. I'm going to be doing a card reading on it and then pull an oracle. I'll do the astrology first. If you're not interested in the astrology, you can always skip forward to the card reading. I will do a timestamp so you can find it easily. Before we get started on all of that, I just want to point out that in 2025, we moved into a new vibration. That is a 9 vibration, universal year 9. And that's this card here, the Hermit card. 9 is a vibration of healing, unconditional love, humanitarianism, impersonal love, separating the wheat from the chaff. And as you can see, this guy is shining his flashlight in the sky. It's about shining your light, utilizing your knowledge, sharing your knowledge, and making sure that people can find you so you can share your knowledge. We're in February, which is the second month. We look at this card, which is the High Priestess. This is revelations, secrets revealed, secrets kept. In some cases, it's up to you. This is direct connection to spirit. And this is the card that crosses the abyss on the Tree of Life. And so it's not an easy energy because we have to keep our balance through it. It's a very sensitive emotional energy. And sometimes that's difficult to do when we see what's going on in the world around us. And then we add those two vibrations together and we get the specific vibration for February 2025, which happens to be the Justice card. Looky, looky. So this is justice, perhaps will be served, justice will be seen, things will even out, the scales will maybe find their balance. It's a time of observation. In fact, all of these cards are pretty introspective in nature and observatory and observant. And so it's not really so much a month of action as it is a month of awareness. And so I think we could all like both use the awareness and use and rest up, because there is a time when we're going to rise up and we're going to move forward. But we need to get a plan. We need to figure things out. And I think February is going to go a long way in us figuring things out. And of course, the best way to understand the outer world is to understand your inner world. If you have a button that people can easily push and you keep repeating the same thing over and over again, the problem is you. It's your button. So you have to figure out a way to deactivate the button, so to speak. All right. Oh, it sounded kind of scientific. All right. I'm using oh, there it is. Sorry. Oh, we're going to look at the astrology first before I get to the cards. That's right. All right, let's jump into the astrology then. All righty. So as we look at this chart, I just want to make just a couple of, just to kind of give you a sense of how you can utilize this chart. When a planet is in water, it's blue. When it's in air, it's yellow. When it's in green, it's earth. And when it's in red, it's fire. And so at a glance, we can see how much fire, how much air, how much water. We can see that the major element is water. this month, and it happens to be in your sign, Pisces. Of course, this is the time when your sun is in Pisces. The sun moves into Pisces in February, February 18th to be exact, this month. Um, so we expect to see things in Pisces, but of course we have Neptune and Saturn in Pisces, and we have the North Node now in Pisces. So you are the head of the spear, Pisces, when it comes to evolution. Now, of course, with the North Node in Pisces, we're all being asked to be like the Pisces, right? Forgiving and understanding and loving and creative. And unfortunately, sometimes a tad delusional, definitely idealistic, but sometimes delusional. So just this is just general for all of us, not for Pisces. I'm not picking any Pisces. But with the North Node in Pisces, we're really sort of being asked to dream the dream and then allow it to form. Pisces is not a sign about control. So it's pretty much you plant the seed and you watch it grow kind of energy. Um, we have Pisces as mutable water. Your mantra is I believe. Your classic ruler is Jupiter, and your modern ruler is Neptune. Before they discovered Neptune in the 1800s, Jupiter was the ruler of Pisces. Both Neptune and Jupiter are expansive in their nature, expansive principles. Um, and so we have Venus. The first thing happening this month is Venus retrograding into Aries. You can notice that the Venus is the only, this happens on the 4th, by the way. The only thing that's in fire this month is Venus. And it's Venus going into Aries is significant because she is going to have a retrograde cycle, of which the highlight is a Sun-Venus conjunction in the sign of Aries. And that indicates a new Venus star point, and it indicates that Venus is moving from evening star to morning star. And whenever Venus moves into morning star phase, she's much more aggressive. She's much more like Taurus energy, survival, fighting for your land, fighting for your rights to be, to have that kind of stuff. Whereas when she's in as an evening star, she has more of that Libra energy. But she is definitely a fighter, and it's in your second house. Second house is your house of values. So you are going to be asked to stand up for your values this year, especially during that Venus retrograde period, which is happening in late winter, early spring, I think. That time frame. Venus is usually retrograde for about 40 days. All right, so that's Venus. We have Jupiter stationing direct. Now, Jupiter is one of your ruling planets if you go by the classical ruler. Jupiter has been in your 4th house since it moved into Gemini. And it's going to be, it's gone forward and then moved back. It stops moving back at 12 and starts going forward again. And so over the next, say, 6 months, it's going to be moving through the rest of that 4th house. And then I believe it's July, and I don't know if it's June or July when Jupiter goes into Cancer, and then it'll be in that house for you. But we still have plenty of time with Jupiter in that 4th house. And it can be an expansion of your home. But in Gemini, it could also be like you may want to teach something in your home. Like you, or people might come to your home and learn something, or you can teach from your home. Like if you do some sort of online thing, you can certainly sit, at your kitchen table and do what you need to do, teach people, communicate with people. So that could be a possibility with that Jupiter energy in the 4th house as well. Jupiter generally spends about a year in each sign. So it spends about 12 months in that house. Plenty of time to plan and do things with that. We have a full moon in the sign of Leo. That is, the full moon will be in your 6th house, whereas the sun part of the full moon will be in the 12th house. That's the axis of health and healing. And so with the full moon, sort of opening up, illuminating in your house of health, something may come to your awareness around your health that you'll need to take care of. Or it could also be the 6th house is a house of service. So it could also be you see the type of service you might want to give. and you'll become aware of that. Mercury ingresses into Pisces on the 14th. So that is your sign, and Mercury's now in your sign. And then on the 18th, that's when the sun moves into Pisces. So the end of the month, the Pisces is pretty heavy with the sun and Mercury and Saturn and Neptune and the North Node in Pisces, all in your first house. And really with the North Node moving through your first house, you're being asked to be yourself, to be you. You be you, boo. And of course, Pisces is very much a healing energy. So I feel like you're going to be pretty busy with both self-healing and healing others. Mars stations direct at 17 degrees of Cancer. That's going to happen on the 23rd of February. Mars has been sitting in your fifth house, fourth when it was in Leo. It went retrograde on the 6th of December at 7 degrees of Leo and has retrograded back into Cancer. That happened on the 6th of January. And now on the 23rd of February, it turns around and starts to move forward in the sign of Cancer. Generally, Mars will spend about 6 weeks in an area of your chart. When it's retrograde, it spends 6 months. So there's a lot of energy in your home and also with your children, your creativity. Your luck may change. You may feel like you've been a bit unlucky when Mars goes direct. You might feel a little bit luckier, and you will it'll prove itself that you are definitely luckier. And then we have the new moon in your sign, the new moon in Pisces, 10 degrees of Pisces. And of course, this is a new you. This is an opportunity to, plant a seed for the new you. So that's always fun and exciting. All right, let's see if there's anything else I want to mention. Pluto remains in Aquarius. He's going to be there for 19 years. So he's just sitting there now in the house that's naturally ruled by your sign. So it's Pluto in the 12th house is almost like a psychic generator for you. So we'll see. It's also the house of your undoing. So what I would say about Pisces is you do need to be your best advocate, which isn't always a natural thing for Pisces. They'll advocate for others, but sometimes they forget to advocate for themselves. And so it's important that you put yourself first, even if it's not your tendency. With the North Node in the first house, the I am house, putting yourself first may be the best thing you can do for everybody involved. All right, that's what I see, guys. Let us, what am I doing? Stop the share. And I'm doing a card reading using the Wildwood deck, I think. I grabbed it, but I'm not sure. Yes, the Wildwood deck. So let's ask the cards, what does Pisces need to be aware of as they move through the month of February 2025? February 2025. February 2025. All right. We start with the Five of Vessels. This is a Five of Cups. In this deck, it's not as dire as others. She's doing an ecstatic dance here. Five is about change, and cups are about, or vessels are about feelings. So there's a lot of changing feelings. In fact, one of the things you might want to do is some improvisational dance, right? That's sort of like this energy, improvisational dance. It's about feeling the feelings and using movement to help move those feelings through. Okay. Let's see what crosses that. Another Pisces card. This is the Hanged Man in this deck. It's called the Mirror. It's about looking at something from a different perspective. I almost feel like the dance is that different perspective. Like if you're feeling upset or emotional about something, most people cry or they, call their friend, like, I don't know why this happens to me, that kind of stuff. But if you can take that energy and make it into a dance, I feel like that's a different way of dealing with the feelings and the emotions that are coming through you this month. Underneath it is the 9. This is the Hermit. Here's another Hermit card. This is actually one of my favorites. And you see that little bird down there? That's a wren. And there's the Hermit. And there's he's in this little cottage in the winter. Kind of looks like my office. And we do have a wren. We actually have a number of wrens that live around the office that when I come out, they usually squawking at me, especially if I haven't put the bird seed out yet. But having that at the root says this is a time of introspective and healing. And so I feel like this process is your process that you're going through. In the past, we have the 10 of bows. This is the 10 of wands. This is feeling burdened, carrying too much of a burden as you try to ascend. I feel like in order to really like ascend to the top of the mountain, which is actually where the hermit lives, you need to start shedding things. Let's see what's in the sky. The high priestess. Well, isn't that interesting? The only thing missing so far is the justice card. We'll see. Maybe that'll come up. So this is the high priestess. This is direct connection to spirit. It's introspection. It's revelations. Spirit wants to reveal something to you. See what's in the immediate future. This would be pretty much the energy for the month in this kind of reading. And we get the Knight of Vessels, which in this deck is eel. So eels are a bit slippery. They're also kind of tasty if you like to eat eel. But if you're a vegan or something and you're offended, I apologize. But there's a slippery quality. I feel like maybe somebody comes into your life, you need to just be circumspect around them. Or because the eel looks much like a snake, this can be another symbol of transformation. So I feel like you're going through a transformational process this month. How it's seen from the outside, the Page of Stones. This is usually like the student or the learner, somebody who's learning, somebody who's diligent and eager to learn. So that's how you're seen. Your domestic situation, the King of Arrows, the Kingfisher. This is about focusing on what you want to catch, so to speak. But it does take a keen eye. So in your domestic situation, you want to keep your eyes open for opportunities that are swimming by so you can scoop them up. Hopes and fears, the Fool. You don't want to seem foolish, perhaps, although that's not usually a Pisces thing. I have Pisces in my chart, and I don't really mind looking foolish most of the time. But it is a leap of faith, and you're hoping that your leap of faith pays off and that you're not being foolish. The outcome, we get the 9 of Vessels, generosity. So that's getting your wish. Your wish is coming true. The Page of Vessels, this is the Page of Cups. So this is, more good news coming your way. And the Empress, the Green Woman. This is fertility and fecundity. So there's a lot of fertility. There's a lot of, a lot of manifestation here, but you have to first go through the process of working out whatever kinks or issues that you have. We have the Page of Arrows, the wren again. There's that little noisy wren underneath it all. The 7 of Bows is clearance. So this is saying clear out the old stuff. Maybe even this would be a good month to divest yourself of some things, clean out your space, that kind of energy. And then lastly, the Six of Bows, which is abundance. This is the victory card in other decks. And so I would say that one of the things that you need to get out of your life might be a few troublemakers or somebody who's being this month, I think Pisces is more of a month of rest and recovery. And if somebody is sapping your energy, perhaps it's time for you to say, go away. Go away. The Ren could also be about finding your voice and being courageous enough to say what needs to be said. So it could be that as well. All right. So I'm also going to pick a Starseed Oracle card. I think. Yep. Okay, here it is. Just sort of round this out for you. Okay. And let's see. What do we have? Called. This card, this is like the fourth time this card has came up. So I will read it to you and then I have to run because I have a reading. I'll just read it to you. It says, you came to Earth with a double mission to grow as a soul and to bring about a shift in consciousness. The best way to fulfill these personal and collective purposes is to trust what it is that your soul is calling you toward, for it is encoded within the most direct path forward. You are being called toward a creative project, a passion, or an adventure. This card is a confirmation that you're facing the right way, and at this moment right here, it is destined. All right, well, that sounds pretty interesting. All right, guys, I got to run. Have yourself a great month. I'll see you again next month. Much love, everyone. Namaste.